What if the villain didn't lose because he was evil? What if he lost because the world needed him to lose? What if the hero didn't win because he was good, but because everyone told him he was? And what if after all the explosions, all the cheering, all the trophies, winning felt empty? That's Megamind, a movie disguised as a parody, a joke that turns into a mirror, a superhero story that dares to ask the scariest question of all. Who are you when your role is taken away? Today we're not rushing, we're not skimming, we're giving this movie time and the respect it earned. From its opening moments to its final choices, from childhood trauma to adult identity, from animation language to narrative structure, from laughs to quiet heartbreak, this is Megamind, a movie that has aged gracefully with time, being a pioneer within DreamWorks success, plus having dozens of successful memes, yearly peaks, and constant debates. Even then, all of the DC nods are really cool, from the backstories of Megamind and Metro Man having pods like Superman, both of them being aliens and having the initials MM, Titan's real name being Hal Stewart, aka a fusion of two Green Lanterns from DC, Hal Jordan and John Stewart, and many more we'll most likely cover in this video. Released in 2010, Megamind arrived at a strange moment. Superhero fatigue hadn't set in yet, but the superhero formula unfortunately had. Audiences expected clear heroes, clear villains, and clear moral lines. But what they got instead was a movie about roles. Not destiny, not prophecy, not power levels. And the reason Megamind aged so well is because roles age poorly. Society changes, expectations shift, labels fail, but you would think identity struggles, right? Nah, they never go out of style. Before a single joke lands, Megamind tells its entire thesis visually. Two pods leaving a dying planet, same origin, same loss, same trauma, different landings, and this is not subtle, and it doesn't need to be, because Megamind isn't asking who was born good or evil, it's asking who was welcomed. Megamind doesn't land in a loving home, he lands in a prison, a place built on rules, punishment, hierarchy. He survives by thinking, by adapting, by learning systems faster than everyone else, and because of this handicap, he truly believes evil is good during his early years, as we see in the beginning narration of the movie. Plus, with all this hardship, his mind becomes like no other, the smartest kid in existence right now. And when he finally enters school, he isn't rewarded for intelligence, he's punished for being different. Every attempt at connection fails, every attempt at expression becomes ammunition, and from that bullying and pressure, a tainted diamond is formed. Using his high intelligence, he starts creating gadgets that unfortunately start hurting people. And the lesson he learns isn't I'm bad, it's worse, I don't belong. So he adapts again. If they expect a villain, he'll become the best one imaginable. Metro Man's landing couldn't be more different though. He's celebrated before he speaks, loved before he earns, protected before he understands danger, and the world doesn't just accept him, it orients itself around him. And when he and Megamind cross paths in the school, their feud officially starts. The good paragon of hope versus the smart villain of evil. Metro Man with his impressive power set, looks, and lovability versus Megamind's trauma and resentment. But the thing that sucks most about this for Megamind is the fact no matter how smart he is, or no matter what he can create, Metro Man always wins. And on top of that, the kids love it. Continuously this game plays out. Metro Man is cheered for, adored, and eventually this leads to, with a hard carry from Metro Man, literally, everyone leaving Megamind behind. Now instead of this stopping there, Megamind and Metro Man keep the charade going through childhood, to teen years, to even adulthood, becoming very prominent in their roles. Especially Metro Man. Fans, statues, status, he literally has it all. And that sounds great until you realize Metro Man never gets to fail, never gets to question, never gets to choose. His role is decided, and although he does play it perfectly, Metro City isn't a realistic environment. It's theatrical, exaggerated, operative, because this isn't a city, it's a set. Megamind and Metro Man are enemies, they're actors in a long-running play. Each battle follows rules, each loss reinforces identity. Megamind plans to lose, Metro Man plans to win, and both of them are trapped by it. And this is very crucial to the plot, because Megamind doesn't lose because he's stupid, he loses because losing gives him purpose. And as long as Metro Man exists, the city needs Megamind. And within this logic, Megamind matters, Megamind is seen, and failure becomes survival. And sadly, that's just painfully human. Fortunately, we do get some insight into their lives though. Introducing Roxanne, and as shown right now, she is just Metro Man's girl. Kidnapped by Megamind, she doesn't even take him serious. He's the joke of villainy, cartoonishly evil even. And we see how easy it is for her to get in his head. Eventually, he does realize this though and locks in on Metro Man. But before we get into that, let's go back just a little bit. Metro Man is being awarded by the city for how amazing he is. He can dance, he can smile. I mean, heck, at this point, I've already explained to you he is technically a performer. But after all this showing off in PR, he opens up a bit about what he possibly wants for his future and letting others know how to enjoy and follow theirs. And even with having anything he wants in the world, he isn't fulfilled because where is the fulfillment? This isn't his story, this isn't his life. It was the life set up for him by the system, the life set up for him by circumstance. And in the middle of this ordeal, Megamind pops up. Lights, dramatics, an evil master plan. That involves the same plan he always has, except this time it ends differently. Like always, at first Metro Man is easily getting through everything. Megamind's weapons, ray beams, robots. It's literally nothing for him, nowhere near a match. Until Metro Man starts suffering. And said by him,
"This dome is obviously lined with copper."
Yeah, so?
Sir, copper drains my powers.
Here Megamind gets excited. Is he finally about to win? And that's when it happens. The death ray beam hits and Metro Man is dead. This even gets confirmed in Megamind's eyes seeing Metro Man's skeleton and cape. And instead of playing this scene like a joke, the segment chooses to hold weight. The movie doesn't celebrate, it pauses. Megamind wins and immediately realizes he doesn't know what to do next. No enemy, no structure, no applause, just silence. And obviously Megamind conquers the city afterwards, but the victory montage feels hollow. The jokes are slow, the energy drops, and this is all because this is what happens when your identity is built on opposition. When the thing that defines you disappears, so do you. And Roxanne is the most grounded character in the film. She doesn't worship heroes, she doesn't fear villains, she asks questions and notices patterns. But most importantly, she sees people. And even though her relationship with Metro Man was blown out of proportion, she still shed tears at a statue paying respects to the hero he was. Even then, she does so at the same time Megamind does, creating this sort of mirrored scene. While one is paying respects to the old life of normality, the other is paying respects to the old performance of normality. You see, and this actually starts something beautiful. Megamind doesn't want to be seen moping at Metro Man's statue, so he disguises himself as Bernard, beginning his charade. Here we see sort of a deep moment on his and Roxanne's exteriors, and in the end he actually makes it out as Bernard, escaping and keeping his identity secret. The interesting part about this situation though is that from now on, every time Megamind disguises himself, he doesn't do it to deceive. He does it to exist. As Bernard, he isn't feared, he isn't mocked, he's listened to. And for the first time, Megamind experiences something revolutionary, being valued without performance. And this somewhat directly and indirectly leads to Hal's story. Roxanne, weird, overweight cameraman with a huge crush on her. Megamind, feeling the sadness of the loss of Metro Man, has a new master plan, creating Metro Cities, which is a direct nod to Superman City Metropolis, brand new superhero. Now he wanted to hit someone worthy of his time with the beam, but this unfortunately hits Hal. It's all good though considering Megamind's intelligence. While also falling in love with Roxanne as Bernard, he also trains Hal as his space dad, and most notably during this training he gives him the name Titan. Here we see how dangerous Titan could be if unchecked, and when it comes to him training to fight Megamind, he is fighting with the intent to kill, most noticeably him not letting up on his laser vision. At first he's even clumsy, rough around the edges, careless, but eventually he does become successful within his teaching, and because of the success he thinks it's time to show off by throwing his crush around the city trying to spit game. You know, in hindsight I wouldn't have thought this idea was bad either, but you know, with permission to do so. This man Hal starts doing all of this with her body with no consent, and eventually his strong boasting exterior is broken down by rejection. And slightly after this, Megamind then reveals himself as his fake space dad, which made him seem special, and the man that stole his supposed to be woman. And this is where it starts, the movie's true warning. Hal represents what happens when power meets entitlement. And unlike Megamind, Hal was never rejected, he was ignored. And ignored people with power are dangerous. Titan didn't want to save people, he wanted to be admired by them. And when the admiration doesn't come, he punishes the world. After Megamind's reveal and Roxanne's rejection, he goes mad trying to kill Megamind. And most notably, we see a lot revealed here. Megamind would never beat Metro Man if he actually tried. And that copper isn't a real weakness for Metro Man's species. At the end of this, with Megamind barely escaping with his life, the people turn to Titan cheering for him, running the villain out of town until he drops a bombshell. He is officially Metro City's new supervillain. Now, a bit before this, even though everything was going good with Roxanne as Megamind was disguising himself as Bernard, he is unfortunately accidentally outed himself. And when Roxanne learns the truth, Megamind doesn't fight it, he collapses. Because this confirms his deepest fear, that the only way he's lovable is by lying. He doesn't think he deserves redemption, he thinks he deserves exile. This is not a villain's breakdown, it's a wounded person's breakdown. And through this night of heartbreak, Megamind doesn't just lose Roxanne, he loses his invisible car and the antidote to the device that gave Titan's powers. And back to currently where we are in the story, this matters to the plot more than anything because Megamind just found out he is nowhere near a match to be able to take on Titan right now. So he has to enlist the help of Roxanne. Around this time, he also puts two and two together, realizing that if copper isn't a weakness, then Metro Man could have survived. So even though Roxanne doesn't want to help, she unfortunately doesn't have a choice, and within the investigation, they found a beautiful secret hideout. And more importantly, the bombshell that Metro Man didn't die. He escaped. And here we see the most overpowered feat in the movie. Metro Man is massively faster than light. Megamind's beam was frozen to him. Metro Man even lived a whole life in that speed, reading books, eating while being entertained by newspapers, playing outside with a kite. Like, this man is incredibly fast. And he is doing all this while not struggling, sweating, or even overworking himself. He's just contemplating. And after taking this time to think, understand, and make a very important choice, he fakes his death, lying about a copper weakness, grabbing a random skeleton to put his cape onto, and officially ghosting the city of his actual whereabouts. So importantly, Metro Man officially breaks free, because being perfect was a prison. He never chose heroism, he inherited it. And by leaving, he forces Megamind to confront the truth. No one is coming to save him, and choice is the only freedom left. And with this new philosophical understanding, Megamind decides it's time to become Metro City's hero, while also arriving in style. He has theatrics, lights, and confidence just radiating from him. And all I gotta gotta say is, till this day, this is still one of my all-time favorite animated character entrances. And after his drones trip up Titan long enough for him to save Roxanne, Titan gets out and throws a freaking building at them. Like, how wild is that? And in turn, this more so trips them up instead of killing them. But here we see this lead into Megamind wasn't actually there, but instead he was disguising himself as Metro Man. And when he shows up, he scares Titan out of Metro City for now, being successful in his charade. Until unfortunately Titan returns, realizing that only one man calls it Monstrosity, Megamind, leading straight to the official final battle. And once again, Megamind is completely outmatched here. But thankfully Roxanne is there and points him towards his car, and the antidote to Titan's powers. So upon getting it and Titan throwing him in the air, which is poetically impressive being the beginning of the movie, and perfectly falling within the scene, Megamind lands using his vast intelligence, being able to pop up fast enough, and injects the antidote into Titan, officially defeating the threat. And as you see, Megamind doesn't defeat Titan with strength, he defeats him with understanding. Titan doesn't lose because he's weaker, he loses because he's never learned humility. And Megamind wins because he accepts himself, not as a villain pretending to be good, but as a person choosing responsibility. And the people of Metro City do take a moment to adjust. Like, this guy was literally their villain a week ago, and at that been their villain for 10 years plus. But eventually they cheer, they officially accept him, and then even reward him in the same way they did Metro Man, with the statue, a medal of honor, and a hero identity. Plus, at the end of this, us viewers are left to see a movie done right. The exaggerated designs aren't jokes, they're emotional amplifiers. Sharp angles, bold colors, expressive faces. This movie reads emotion instantly, and that's why it still works. Megamind is about identity in a world obsessed with labels. It's about choosing growth after rejection. It's about learning that intelligence without empathy is empty, and power without responsibility is destruction. But most of all, it's about realizing that you are not the role that you were given. You are the choice that you make. And that's why this movie didn't just age well, it matured. This movie has action, romance, heart, betrayal, comedy, but most of all, a compelling message. It is never too late to change. And to add on to that, we have story-driven characters that found a place in our hearts, and an animation style that we didn't know we'd miss 16 years later. So if this video made you see Megamind differently, that's the point. Because sometimes the movies we laugh at the most are the ones telling us the hardest truths. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. It genuinely helps the video reach more people. And make sure to drop a comment too. It lets me know what you thought and helps the algorithm push this out to others who might also enjoy it. And if you want to see more content just like this, consider subscribing. I've got a lot more coming. And if you want to support the channel even further, I do have monthly memberships with early access to videos, priority sponsored content, shout outs, and a few other extra perks. I just want to let you know there's no pressure at all. Just understand I truly appreciate you for being here. It's always a blessing to make these videos, and I pray you all have an amazing, blessed day. I'll see you in the next one.